With greetings, I hope you are doing well. I am Alad Kambri and welcome to the introduction of another tool from the Blender collection. In this introductory video, I want to introduce you to EasyBake, a very simple plugin for baking and fast baking in Blender. To do this, drag the file and install it like all extensions. After you've installed it, it will be added on the right side under the name EasyBake. Open it. According to the rule of all such tools, we want to bake a high poly model onto a low poly model here. For this matter, you can enter your models in two ways. If the model is in the scene, you can hit the pick button and select your high poly and low poly models from the scene. If your model is not in the scene, you can call it. By clicking this button, the folder opens for us. After the folder is opened, we call the high poly model. The low poly model as well. This is our low poly model. Well, after we have specified its folders and path, we must hit import. For both models, we must hit import, so these models enter the high poly and low poly import section, and the models are recognized. Here in the unwrap section, we specify whether our model has an unwrap or not. If your model has an unwrap, hit Analyze UV Quality. At this stage, it examines your UV. If there is a problem in your UV, it detects the error and tells you to fix it, like here where it detected an overlap error. And if I hit Fix Overlap, this overlap is fixed and resolved, and here the quality says good. So any model you have here and enter, it can analyze for you and also give us a piece of data saying how many UV islands you have in the UV you entered, in the UV that is on your model. Now, if your model didn't have UVs or you want to UV it again, you can use the Unwrap section. You can perform the unwrapping task in two ways, Auto Unwrap and Smart UV. You can choose whichever you want and hit the Auto UV button. If your model doesn't have UVs, when you hit Auto UV, it gets UV'd. If your model has UVs, but the UV has a problem, hit Force Unwrap, which actually Force Unwrap is such that if the model has UVs, it still forces it to UV it again. And for certainty, you can also hit Pack Island and Average Scale so your UVs come out correctly. Because in the process of baking, UV is very important. Very, very important that you have correct UVs. For this reason, I have put a section here called UV Check to check your UVs for you. Now, if the zero area or out of bounds sections have an error here, too, it shows us the defects in the Select Problem section, and we can fix them. In the Configure Maps section, we can bring the maps we need. I have put a complete set of maps for you here, but I have also put an essential one, which are the maps that are essential and we usually use a lot, and I have placed them up here for you. The rest of the maps are additional maps that you might use if they come in handy, but I have put the essentials here for you. For example, here we want Albedo now, we want Ambient, and we want Normal. We want it to bake these three for us, and I hit OK. And after I hit OK, they are added here automatically. To find the resolution for it, at what resolution do you want it to be baked? In this stage, you can specify anti-aliasing. 1x means off, and naturally 2x, 4x, and 8x. The higher the number of x's of your anti-aliasing and the higher the quality of your anti-aliasing, naturally the calculation time and the baking time of your render bake will be more. This is that. Naturally, the higher the resolution, the time will be more. Well, after you specified these, in the device section, you can specify the GPU for it, as to with what device, in what way it should perform the render for you, whether its calculations should be with the GPU or with the CPU. Naturally, with GPU, its speed is more. And let's come to the sample section. The number 128 is enough. In the tile mode section, you can define for it whether it should be single texture, actually your UV is a single texture set, or multiple texture set or UDIM is shown here, which it even supports UDIM completely. Specify this bake format for it with what format you want. Also specify the bit rate of your output image for it. An 8-bit image is logical, especially because we have normal map. Define the path and output for it as to where you want it to be saved, and here hit the Bake All button. When you hit Bake All parameters mentioned in the Bake Map section will be baked for us. If we hit Bake Selected, only those that are selected, meaning if there are two selected, only the one that is selected. So I hit Bake All, and if we also hit Open Folder, just as you were seeing down here, it's showing us the process. It's showing us the baking process. Here we can also see that our baked textures are saved one by one. Well, the first texture was saved. We wait for the rest to be saved too. Let me also tell you another point. It shows us the entire baking path and baking process. It says how many textures are being baked and what percentage of the overall process has been completed. There are 3 textures in total and 66% of the overall process has been completed. Well, the texture was baked for us. This is its result. Now for us to use the result too, it is enough to turn off the high poly and keep the low poly. Come here and hit Apply Textures. When we hit Apply Textures, these textures that have been exported are automatically applied to our low poly model. This is that. It was applied to our low poly model. This is for the baking section. Now sometimes you have several folders one after another and you want to bake these one after another. You no longer want to open your models one by one and come perform baking. How do we do this? After you have put all these settings, come to the batching section. In the batching section, it's enough to give it the folder. I will clear this. I will also completely clear that previous folder of ours so I can show you the process. Look here, we have 2 folders here. In these 2 folders I put, each one only has its albedo textures next to it, which is with the same name of that same project itself. The textures are located next to it. Therefore, I want to perform the baking task at this same stage. It's enough for you to give it your main folder, meaning we give it the parent folder. It detects itself, saying your low polys start with the term low poly, your high polys with the term high poly, yes or no. Meaning when we don't touch it here, it means it's performing the same default process, where every model that has the name high in it has high in it, it recognizes as the high poly model. Every model that has the name low in it, it recognizes as the low poly model. Hit Scan Folders. When you hit Scan Folders, it shows us how many folders we have and how many models are inside each folder. So this was also detected. Therefore, I hit Bake All now and wait. Here, it's telling us it's setting map 1. Let's go from folder 1. Let's see the folder 2. Every folder that performs its baking task, here every folder that performs its baking task, creates another folder inside itself and places the textures that were baked here for us. Now the first texture was placed. One after another, it loads the models, performs the baking, and closes the model and goes to the next folder until the end where all these tasks are performed. We wait to see the result of this completely. The baking task is also finished. Let's check together. This is the first folder, and this is the second folder which placed all its UVs for us. This is that. I hope this extension is useful and practical for you.